Alright, my friends, happy Friday to you. I want to share with you just a little bit of progress I've made and work on this little 2014 Matt Kenseth GameStop Nyko charge base nationwide car. So, making this for Mr. Doug, Mr. North of the Border Doug. And it's not really a complicated scheme, but I'm trying to build that perfect custom, and so far so good, I have to say. I'm pretty happy with the way it's turned out. I order the decals, you can see them here. I order them with the white removed. It's just a little bit easier to do it this way with the white removed. I don't really like laying white decals. They don't come out as sharp and just doesn't look as good. And so if I'm ever in a position where I'm not sure which background color to remove, I usually, and white is one of those areas, I usually try to remove the white. And so in this case, you've got the green fading into the black, and then it goes white. And so what I've done is I've pre-painted a number of areas along the bottom here. Didn't really need to pre-paint the spoiler, but that's done. And then this whole roof and these pillars here, I've painted all of that black because I want to minimize any of the seams that I may have with these black decals. Now at the same time, I really don't like laying black decals either. I'd rather, as you can see my cars here, right? You can see a lot of them are white and black painted. This one here, this is basically a black car with these colored decals over top of it. So I really like to remove the black and the white backgrounds, but in this case, I've got both of them, so I had to choose one or the other. Now, one of the issues with laying black decals inevitably is, let's see if I can show you here, is you can see the decal here has like a little edge to it. You see this edge where I cut it? Right along that edge, some white ink or non-black, right, can show up when you lay the decal. And so it's not so much of a problem right here along this line, right, where you're going to butt it up against a white colored background. It's not a problem. But where you have black interfacing with black, you might have a streak of white that runs along there ever so slightly, right? And so what I like to do, whether I use my black gloss paint pen or I use a Sharpie, is I like to kind of, before I get the decal wet, and it's not a heavy coat, but I just run it ever so slightly across there to remove that white edge. See that? Ever so slightly. See that? I got it in the corner here. It's a little harder to do. I don't want to change the color, right? So that even the Sharpie's a little bit of a different shade of black. So you want to be careful not to get too rambunctious with this. You just want to run it right along there, because that's going to butt up against the black hood decal. And be careful here because I got a little bit of touch of green on the bottom there. So I don't want to go black down there. So just like that. So now you can see that white is gone. And it's it's not a perfect match of black, but it's, it's black. And that way when I go to lay that, you're not going to see that white little seam that you see from time to time. I'm going to go along the bottom here. Like so. It's a little bit here. A little bit here. Yeah. And I think I've already done it to these pieces. Oh, it doesn't look like I did it right here. Alright, maybe I did. No, it doesn't look like I did. Not fully. Did it across here. Did it across there. So yeah, guys, I'm at. I was talking to my brother the other day, and I'm kind of at that stage where my production has slowed down as I try to make these just the last little bit of areas where I'm trying to make it as perfect as I can make it. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to try to get everything just right. But I'm trying to do that. Actually, I think this... Let's see how this lines up here. So it is a little big. So I want to get that to fit into there, which means I'll probably trim a little bit there. Yeah. So what I like to do on these, where I think I might have a little bit of it wrapping underneath, I just cut like a little slit there. Little slit right next to the decal so it's not noticeable if I get there. And then back here just a little bit in case I have to wrap this back side. Not much. This is a pretty nicely sized decal. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a pretty busy week with me. Just been really busy with a lot of work. And I've said this before, sometimes when I have a lot of work and I get home, or I'm at the end of my work day, I'm just kind of tuckered, just need to rest and relax. And sometimes I work on my customs at that time, and sometimes I just kick back and maybe watch some TV or just have some family time together with my family. Daughter came home from Liberty this week as they've wrapped up their finals, so that was nice. But yeah, so let's see how this looks here. So that's gonna be, let's see. Normally I like to cut this off, this B pillar off, but I think I can leave it together. Yeah. Alright, and so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little bit more. I've already gone across the top. And so what I want to do here, do a little bit of the inside here. The other thing that I need to do make it a little bit easier, is because of this little plastic little window piece that hangs in there. I don't want the decal, this area of the decal, to kind of overlap that, so I want to be able to tuck it. So I'm going to cut a little slit here. So I can tuck it. And I'll do the same thing in this corner here, so that I can tuck that as well. It just makes it a little bit easier. I'll cut a little bit here. Not too much. I don't want to cut through that all. Yeah. And then I guess I should do back here, because sometimes this will be a little long. Alright, let's get that in the water. Alright, so let me explain some things on this car. So what I've done, you can see I just got, some of this in here. These decals, got this roof decal in there. And then I was able to get this nose piece in. And so what I did, you can see I cut out the headlights here, and I had pre-painted behind here black along these lines where these are where my seams are, right? Where my hood decal will cover all this. And then I have the seam potentially existing right here between the side decal and the hood decal. And I got the black here, so if I have any openings, that'll be addressed. But this nose piece, getting this piece in, is a pain in the butt. I'm happy with the way it turned out, but it is a pain in the butt because it's you can see it's recessed in here. You got to use the microsole. You got to have patience, and you get creases along here as you go over these curved areas, and yeah, it's just it's a labor of love. So, but yeah, it can be a real pain to get that in place. But once you get it in place and you get it worked out, it can look really nice, right? So that's done, and before I put this hood piece on, I wanted to put a couple coats of clear sealer over it. And I'd say that because my experience is when you're matching up, once you get this done, you lay the hood decal in place, and this gets wet again, these creases come back, and you've got to start all over again and working them out. If you get a couple coats of sealer on them, those creases typically don't come back, and you can just work the hood decal. So, yeah, that's typically what happens there. So let's get this hood decal in place here. Yeah, and you can see inevitably there's a little tiny gap between this and this. Bring it down a little bit. But the more I bring it down, the more I create a potential gap here between the side decal and this little crease here. You can see, since I went along the edge of this decal, you don't see any white. There's still a little bit of a seam, but it hides the seam a little bit better than if I didn't do that. Alright, so let's try to get this thing centered. And you can see how I'm holding the car, right? Inevitably, I like to put the side decals on last. because I kind of hold it by the side. If you put those side decals on first, you get potential movement because you're holding that side so much. Squeeze that water out of there. Yeah, this is one of those videos you might want to watch on a 2x playback speed. So Matt Kenseth is going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm not surprised. I know he had a good career. 39 wins, Cup champion. That's good. That's good. But a lot of people make the Hall of Fame. You know, that's what's interesting to me is you get a lot of drivers make the Hall of Fame. So is it really a special award per se? I don't know. So yeah, I've got some time I've got to spend on this to try to get those hood pins nice and the decal over those hood pins nice and smooth, tight. You don't like to see spaces there around them. See how it's kind of like bubbled up? The decal just doesn't naturally conform around them. You got to work them. So I'll be doing that. But in the meantime, let's try to get this piece on, please. See what this looks like. Yeah. It's a nice little tuck there. Yeah, you can see how it just overlaps just a little bit. Nice. A little bit here. Nice design here. Nice sized very nicely. You always want a little bit more than you need, just in case. But yeah. This comes down here, transitions nicely to there. Yeah, like it. Pretty cool design. I like the green and the black. I've always liked that color combination as a kid. Army green, black. Who doesn't like black? It's just got that cool factor to it. So yeah, I've got a little seam there. See that? That's why you've got to pre-paint. You got to pre-paint. I mean, I'm bringing it up as much as I can, but yeah, the last pieces I'm going to put on are the headlights. So I get all this stuff in place, then I'll be able to lay these headlights in nicely. And that'll be, yeah, that'll be the last piece there. A slow process with this car, but you want the best possible custom. You gotta take your time. You know, you don't want to rush it. Sometimes I'm decaling these cars over multiple days. You know, a little bit here, a little bit there, to get the decals and everything just right. Yeah, so there's a little seam there. Too bad. Alright, let's look with this side. Get these out of here. You can see where I kind of got a little black on the sides. You can see where the Sharpie kind of leaked through, covered it up. Yeah. So I'm going to need to tuck this. I can. I mean, if I can't, I'll trim it. You know, I'll trim it a little bit later. But I like to try to tuck it if I can. Sometimes the tolerances of these plastic pieces against the body are tight, and it's hard to get it to slide in there. That's why I got this thing sitting here. How are you? Okay. So I need to stretch this a little bit because I got a little bit of overlap back here. Sometimes it'll stretch, but let me get a little bit of micro sole on there. Let's see what this does. Just a sharp looking car. Just a sharp looking car. I really like that. Like I said, green and black. Transition back here to the white. Love that car. Of course, I could make Matt Kenseth cars all day long. And I told you I used to only make his cars. I used to only make Matt Kenseth customs. Because I thought he was the only one worthy of my greatness. I'm laughing because I'm trying to be silly. My wife says I'm silly sometimes. Maybe a little too much. Alright, come here. Pull back this way a little bit. Alright. It's definitely... Ooh, is that stretching? Look at that stretch. Nicely. That's one thing I like about these decals. These Silk Ink decals, they really stretch very nicely. So yeah, guys, so this is what I'm working. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching these videos. It's really a blessing to share this hobby with y'all. As I've said many times, I encourage you guys to give it a shot. You know, if you've got, you know, if you're a younger guy and, you know, or older guy, right? It doesn't matter. But if you've got, you know, the means, a little bit of desire, you like making stuff yourself, maybe you want to, you know, maybe you're, you know, doing stop motion, or you're just a collector and you want to add some spice to your collection as opposed to, you know, buying customs, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Have fun with it. Sure, you got to have some paints, you got to have some tools. I've got a video on about, you know, some of the tools that you need. But at the end of the day, man, it's just fun. It's just really fun. Creating something that you can't buy in the store, you can't buy online, you know, that maybe only a few people in the whole world have. And then over time, I mean, I've been doing this for 12 years, and then over time you get good at it. And then you start knocking out some awesome customs. And you either add them to your collection or you make them for other people, and it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. And then you go, you know, this is where I'm at. I mean, I've made a bunch, I made thousands of 164 customs over the years. And then you get to the point where you start trying to perfect what you're doing. And that's kind of where I'm at, right? I'm trying to perfect each custom I make. I no longer kind of rush through things. I kind of take my time and try to perfect it. But yeah, so I'll keep working this guy, but this is how she's coming together, Doug. Hope you like it. So, Matt Kenseth, Nyko Charge Base GameStop 2014. Have a great day. God bless.